Y'all want to know one real reason why America's crashing out like crazy right now? Mediocrity don't hit like it used to, baby. See, once upon a time in America, you could be real mid and still thrive. Mediocre effort, boom, you get a house, car, annual vacation, pension, hell, maybe even a boat. You could clock in, coast through the week, grill on Sundays, and still retire with dignity. But that era is dead and gone, baby. And instead of leveling up or adapting, they're mad, they're bitter, and they're not even blaming the billionaires. They blaming you. They have the audacity to blame me. They blaming immigrants, black people, queer folk, anyone they think is taking something that used to be theirs by default. See, they don't want equality. They want comfort. And when mediocrity no longer gets them that comfort, they start rewriting the rules to rig the game again. It ain't about fairness. It's about preserving the lie. The lie that being average should still be enough for them.
Living in America in 2025 literally feels like we are living out the plot for the movie Would You Rather. I don't know if any of you have seen the movie, but if you haven't, spoiler alert. Obviously, we're going to be paraphrasing because who got time to be explaining all the details of the plot? Not me. To make this as short and sweet as possible, there's a really rich guy. Let's call that rich guy the 1%, right? And he finds all of these people that are in financial ruin. They're in financial ruin. They need dinero. They need bread, right? Whether it be for medication, for medical bills, they're in debt, they have gambling addictions, whatever. They need money bad, and he knows this. So 1%, because remember, that's what we're calling him. 1% gathers all of these people that are in financial ruins to his house, right? As guests for dinner. They don't even realize that they're not actually fucking guests, but contestants, all right? As the dinner proceeds, they don't even realize that 1% has already started the game or introducing the concept of the game. Why? Because he starts testing their principles for exchange of money. Remember, they're all there because they fucking need it. The protagonist in the film, her name is Iris, and she's there because she needs money to pay off the treatment for her brother's leukemia, right? He needs a bone marrow transplant. He needs all of these things, and she doesn't have the money to pay or keep up with the medical expenses. That's the reason why she's there. She is also a vegan. 1% knows that. So he tests her. He gives her a piece of meat. He says, eat this piece of meat for exchange of $10,000, or keep your beliefs and don't get the money. She needs the money so that she can pay off her brother's treatment. So guess what happens? She eats the fucking meat. Not just that, amongst the people that are there, the contestants, right? There's this one person who's a recovering alcoholic. 1% knows that this person is a recovering alcoholic. 1% offers the recovering alcoholic $50,000 in exchange of drinking an entire bottle of scotch. Knowing how long this person has been in recovery, but also knows that this person is desperately in need for fucking money. So guess what happens? The recovering alcoholic drinks the entire bottle of fucking scotch in exchange for that $50,000. And see, now after those two little tests, after properly conditioning the group, he reveals, 1%, reveals the final version of the game, Would You Rather? And because all of them are in desperate need of money, they decide to play the game. But the thing is, you didn't really have a choice in the matter. You didn't have a choice in the matter. You did not ask to be in financial ruins. You didn't ask for that. Unfortunately, because of the cards that you were dealt, you have automatically been included in this fucking game. And now the only way for you to get out is for you to die or for you to win. And in order for you to win, that means everybody else must die. You can't look out for everybody. You can only look out for yourself. That don't sound like living in America in 2025. It don't sound like that's literally what we're living, what we're experiencing today in America in 2025. By forcing the average American to acquire some level of debt, right? They have now placed us in a position of would you rather. Would you rather accept minimum wage with no possibility of actually being able to pay off this debt? But at least you can say you could afford to exist. You could afford to live a little bit, right? Or Would you rather sacrifice and compromise your morals, your beliefs, your freedom by acquiring that money illegally through scamming or fraud, or by doing something like OnlyFans or stripping? Those are the only options you have now. Would you rather? The current housing crisis that Americans are facing or dealing with is not even because there's a lack of homes. It's not because there's a lack of housing or because America's just so overly populated. No, it's because of these greedy landlords and these greedy property owners, right? Forcing us into, you guessed it, would you rather? Would you rather live with roommates, live with your parents for the rest of your fucking life, right? Or live in a really shitty fucking apartment because you'll never be able to actually put down for a starter home because you can't afford that, right? You can't even afford a basic apartment, right? Either take this shitty fucking apartment for $2,000 to $3,000 a month or deal with being homeless. Would you rather? Would you fucking rather? That's all the choices we have. By refusing the American citizens universal health care and benefits, claiming that they can't do it, it's just not possible, even though it's used as an incentive to recruit people for the fucking army. They use it as an incentive to recruit people for the fucking army, giving you, dangling, leveraging basic human fucking rights in order for you to sign away yours, right? Now forcing us again in another situation of would you rather? Would you rather eat or would you rather be able to pay for your medical exam? Would you rather keep the lights on or would you rather pay for your fucking medication? Would you rather? Would you fucking rather? This administration conducting these massive layoffs and these massive deportations has now forced us in a position of would you rather go out there in the field and pick them fucking berries yourself or starve? Would you rather go out into the field and pick them berries yourself or spend 3 times the amount for it? That's what we're dealing with. By refusing to enact adequate gun regulation, gun legislation, would you rather the bullet go through a child in a school or the bullet go through a child in church? That's where we're at. With all of these attacks on the autonomy of women, the autonomy rights of women, would you rather just go along with what the fuck I'm telling you to do, or do I gotta force you? Do I gotta force you? That's your would you rather. And the thing is, I'll never forgive you motherfuckers for voting for this. I'll never forgive you motherfuckers for voting for this. I'll never forgive you motherfuckers for voting for this. It's not even a situation of you being too fucking dumb where you couldn't read. It's not even a thing of you actually believing that he was actually gonna look out for any of you motherfuckers because you knew better. You fucking knew better. You did it because you had that much hate in your fucking heart. You were that fucking racist. You were that fucking evil. You were that fucking cruel. And now everybody's dead ass living. They're living the plot to a movie that came out in 2012 in 2025 in real fucking life. In real fucking life. This is our lives now. This is our lives. You understand? We're only in month 9. We're in month 9 of 4 fucking terms, of 4 years. We're only at mark 9. Month 9, excuse me.
So if you have been thinking about leaving the United States, I'm going to hold your hand when I say this. It is time to start thinking about that very seriously. And hi, if you're new here, my name's Kara. I'm the digital nomad mom. And 2 years ago, my family and I sold everything we had to travel the world full time. And now we're currently living in Greece. I recently asked ChatGPT what are the signs of a dictatorship, and I want to share that with you. According to ChatGPT, there are 7 main warning signs to look out for. Number 1 is the erosion of democratic institutions. This is when leaders undermine the courts and also try to weaken checks and balances under the guise of stability or efficiency. Yep, that sounds familiar. Number 2 is the attacks on the free press. This is labeling journalists as fake news, restricting media outlets, or also censoring free speech. And after Jimmy Kimmel getting canceled, we're there. Number 3 is concentration of power, where the leader tries to extend term limits. We're not there yet, but I will not be surprised if this comes into play soon. Number 4 is one we know pretty well already, and that's the use of fear and division, targeting minority groups and immigrants to promote an us versus them mentality. Leaders will also promote nationalism and conspiracy theories to unify people against a supposed threat. We're there too. Number 5 is suppression of opposition. This is when we start to see criminalization of protests, unions, NGOs that are going against government policy. Yeah, that also sounds familiar. Number 6 is the militarization and the policing of society, which basically means expanding police powers and surveillance and military presence in our everyday lives. Yeah, we can check that one off the list. And number 7 is probably no surprise. It is a personality cult, where the leader presents themselves as the savior of the nation, with the excessive use of symbols, slogans, and propaganda. So out of the 7 first warning signs, according to ChatGPT, we are at least at 5 of them. So my friends, it is time to go. I would not stick around to see if we make it to the other 2 early warning signs of a dictatorship. And if you're not sure where to start in this journey, because it is a lot of steps, it's very challenging. I'm not going to sugarcoat that, but I have created a guide that is everything you need to know on how to leave the US in 6 months or less. It's linked in my profile, and it's only $7.99. And to learn more about our life abroad and how I got my family out of the United States, be sure to follow for more.
Americans are leaving this country in record numbers. And I'm not talking about vacation. I'm talking packing their bags, booking their flights, and leaving for good. In the first few months of 2025 alone, the amount of people that just said, I'm done, and moved abroad doubled from the year before. That's not just a blip, okay? That's a wave. So why? Same reasons you and I complain about every day. Cost of living going through the roof, political chaos that never seems to end, and the fear of safety even when you're just going to the grocery store. But here's the thing, it's not just dreamers or millionaires doing it. It's normal people. It's people with families. It's young people, old people, retirees, people who are working remote. One common thread holding all of these people together is they just want a dignified life. That's why you're seeing places like Greece, Spain, France, Portugal. Their cafes are filling up with Americans who are just done. People love to scream, if you don't like it, leave. Well, we are, thousands and thousands of us. We will be joining that wave soon. If you're curious about moving abroad, stick around, because we're about to embark on this journey ourselves, and we can't wait. At the end of the day, people like us just want to make life work. And if we think that we can do that better outside of this country, then who's to say we can't?
I don't know who's out here living the American dream, but I can tell you one person who isn't, and that's me. I have 4 kids, and I'm working 3 jobs, and I'm still struggling. I have my full-time job. I'm a 911 dispatcher. My other 2 jobs, a waitress. The American dream should not be this hard. I should not have to be working my life away, being away from my kids. You know, sometimes I have to pick. Am I going to pay my electric bill or am I going to buy groceries? Because my kids need to eat. This is not the American dream. I'm so tired of struggling. You know, so many people are going to work, working multiple jobs just to pay for a house to sleep in, just to put their head down at night. This is not the American dream, not my American dream. That's why I started posting here on TikTok. So hopefully I can slow down some so I can spend time with my kids. Life shouldn't be this hard. I know one person that's making 6 figures and they're still struggling. Why's it gotta be so hard? Anyways, if you want to help this mama out from struggling, you know what to do. I'm headed into work to work at Buffalo Wild Wings today. I have to work a double. Say a prayer, I make some money.